So dinking strategy number 1 is dinking to the front half of the kitchen. Essentially, with the front half of the kitchen is the half of the kitchen that is closest to the net. So if you were to split the kitchen in half, it'd be that half that's closest to the net. And what we want to talk about right now is when you should be dinking there. And this is something that Colin Johns talks about in his dinking strategy. So when you should be dinking there and how it can help you in what circumstances and how it can help you to either get back into points or create offense. So let's start with you, Spencer. When do you dink to that front half of the kitchen, and why? Or have you ever thought about it? Do you just dink in certain locations and not really have thought about splitting that kitchen in half?
No, I've thought about it a lot, but in the most basic of ways. If I think about dinking in the first half, I'm usually playing someone tall or someone that has a lot of reach, and so I'm trying to hit my dink as shallow as possible. That's really the only time I'm thinking get it to where they can't really get the ball out of the air. Me personally. Now you can teach us what's wrong about that and how I can improve that. But yeah, typically it's when someone has big reach, and I'm just trying to make it so it's not as attackable.
Yeah. So, I mean, I've gotten this secondhand, and then I also have some of my own ideas, but I've gotten it from Colin Johns. And essentially he says dink to the front half of the kitchen whenever you're in a defensive position. Another good reason could definitely be you're playing against someone that's really long and tall and they can reach far in. You want to utilize the front half of the kitchen, otherwise they're going to speed everything up. But if you're ever in a defensive position, they pull you off the court, they pull you out wide, maybe you're still transitioning into the net. If you can hit the front half of the kitchen, they really can't create offense from that position. Because the ball is so close to the net, they can't speed up the ball from that position. If they were to, they have to hit it upwards, or they just straight up hit it into the net. So since they have to hit it up, it just gives you a really easy attackable ball. So it's essentially just instantly taking away their offense and neutralizing the point, making it so that all that they can do is hit a neutral ball or a defensive ball at that. And so it's just essentially taking that away. But that's why I dink to the front half of the kitchen. The only problem is the net's in the way. So, maybe you're pulled way out wide. That can kind of be a difficult spot to hit. But that's where drilling comes in and just practicing it, because if you can get it to that spot, then you're back in the point. If you can't get it to that spot, you're pretty much screwed anyway. So, yes, could be a little bit more low percentage, but it's better hitting there and maybe hitting it in the net every 5 times rather than popping up the ball and just getting a winner, or something along those lines where they just hit a winner in your face. What are your thoughts on that?
No, I like it. I mean, for me, one of the hardest dinks is if I'm playing mixed and I'm playing on the left and I'm trying to cover a lot of court, trying to cover to the right. Still, for me, I don't have enough practice with it. I don't play enough. I keep promising that I'm going to play more. If that ball goes behind me, if it's a dink anywhere behind me, that for me is the toughest dink, not to be able to hit back, but to be able to hit back precisely. And that's something that I need to drill. I could definitely do that with a ball machine. Just work my way, take up a lot of court on the right and have the ball machine be hitting it on my left. And then I have the ability to put that ball where I want. Because usually my focus right now is just get it over the net in those hard to reach areas. But when I'm in that defensive position, like you said, should be trying to hit it in the front half of the court.
And something and just building off of that really quick, is something that will help with that is hitting it cross court. Because you have 22 feet, maybe 21 when you're dinking cross court that's actually in the kitchen. Whereas if you dink up the line, you have 14 feet, give or take a couple feet. And if you dink up the middle, you have probably 15, 16 feet. So if you can get it in the front half of the kitchen, you're going to be a lot more consistent doing that if you hit it cross court than up the line or up the middle. But sure, up the middles can be a really, really good choice to just get back into the point. And and be consistent too. So I'd err on the side of either up the middle or cross court.